Hey, this is Adam Forrester, and today I'll be talking about the technology takeover. Recently, throughout the past decade, technology has truly risen and gained such an integral part of society, especially with the introduction of social media. And today, more so, I'm going to be talking about the technology takeover, which is more so the effects of social media on mental health. And if you can allude to it, it's really not that good for your mental health. It's a lot of negative effects, It's going to degrade your mind over time if you have uncontrolled use, if you use it too much. I mean, in a sense, social media isn't terrible. It's a part of society, and it can be used for good. It can be used to spread good messages and positive thoughts. But just as fast as you can send something positive, something negative can easily be spread to spread bad influence, per se. And social media really has brought a fast-paced social landscape to the modern society and the modern social climate. Basically, it accelerates the time taken to create plans. For example, just like back in the day, if you had a call, like go to a phone stand or something, or just use like a house phone or something, or have a certain amount of letters you can use on text compared to just speaking into your phone what you like to say to a friend. And that is how fast messages and communications transfer between people and things. And since it transfers so fast, we're in such an accelerated social climate, per se. I'm going to use the word social climate a lot because what social media does is just make everything fast. It gives you a lot of information quickly. You digest things quickly. And in a sense, and there is research that would prove this, but it really does shorten your attention span. And if you can logically chain things together and just think about the construction of social media and how fast-paced it is, and think of a relatable thing, for example, think of TikTok. Think of the system that is constructed. It is very fast, it's vertical, you swipe through videos very quickly, and if you don't like what you see another video within less than a second. They introduced that format to other apps, such as Snapchat, Instagram, through like Instagram Reels. I'm sure if you go among the apps, they've integrated a lot of the features to intertwine all these apps. So there really is a unanimous feature that kind of just controls everything in a sense, because most people not run their days, but social media affects the outcome of their days and possibly what could happen. For example, if someone texts you to do something or you see a post about something, it could be major to minor, but anything to any extent can affect what you're going to do for the day. For example, seeing a post, creating a post, any kind of input or output on social media. Now, if you use too much social media, which is a big problem amongst teenagers, Generation Z, young adults in modern society, is that social media is becoming a replacement for modern in-person interaction. And when social media is so accessible and it's so easy and effective to be able to communicate so fast amongst people, and you could send something and it could reach millions of people within a matter of seconds. And it's almost taking over in-person interaction. If someone can just sit down on their phone and send out a text and influence all these people, what's the point of actually going out? Now, I'm not using this logic to myself, but there's a lot of people that get heavily intertwined with social media and their influence. And social media, in a sense, is almost like a highlight reel of someone's life. There's going to be good and bad, but if amongst most people in society, they want to give themselves a good reflection, per se, a good reflection of themselves. And they're not going to post these like horrific things on their personal profile, per se, of reflecting who they are. So when everyone is posting all these positive things and everything's rainbows and sunshines in a sense, there's like a societal pressure to do well and to just do better because you're seeing all these great things happening around you as soon as you open your phone in the matter of seconds. Like, for example, right before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning, there's a lot of people that struggle that you shouldn't even be on your phone then because your brain is trying to calm down, de-escalate before it goes to bed. And when you wake up, you shouldn't be planting your face into a phone, but it happens to everyone, and I've been accountable for it before. But by losing these in-person interactions, social media gains a stronger stance just over society. So this leads to things, social media addiction, and even if you're not addicted, it could lead to things like anxiety, And then from anxiety can stem depression. And then a lot of the times, as I was explaining prior, with social media being such a perfect landscape, and you can post such an abundance, infinitely, whatever you want, there becomes a sense of narcissism, where you think that, you want to be the greatest, and you get a sense of just, you're great. But social media isn't reality. And the problem is that a lot of people value social media to the same extent of reality. And that's why people get so mixed up and take things so personally on their cell phones that shouldn't even be happening. The issue is of what I was saying, even my first stance is just how strong social media is integrated with society. And if the internet went down, if there was an EMP, hypotheticals, if something ever happened and there's no internet, everything's screwed. I mean, the entire economy runs through just online, not the entire economy, but a lot of online transactions. And if there's no internet, nothing, everything's crashing. And that's not a bad thing. We've really moved forward as humans to create technology to allow us to do that. It's just now we've reached to this point where we're almost becoming reliant on it, where we kind of use it as a crutch for us. And if we didn't have that, we almost have nothing, which really is the verdict of what's happening here. And the main thing is you got to become aware. And once you become aware, you can take the next steps to do whatever you want in life. I'm talking in the sense of social media affecting mental health. A lot of the times it goes unhindered. People don't think about it, and it suddenly affects you over time. And you really don't notice it until it becomes prevalent in certain situations, or maybe over time, things like that, etc. But the first step is really just becoming aware of what you're doing, what your actions are on social media, and the realness of every situation. And you really just have to understand, it's really not too deep, and you can't let things affect you, such as, for example, FOMO. FOMO is called the fear of missing out, and it's basically when you're on social media and you see these other people doing things, and it creates this anticipation of, why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing this? And then you become in this whole mental dilemma in your head, and that's where anxiety stems from, and then a plethora of just negative things that we don't want any part of. So the first thing is just to become aware, be your own person, take things within your own reality, real life first, and really just emphasize things like in person, eye contact, using body language, just interacting with people in real life, more of an emphasis on that, because really, it sounds rather traditional, but in the modern climate, in-person interactions aren't as valued as they once were due to the introduction of social media. So I'm not going to say it's going to keep getting worse, but the direction that we're moving with technology, it's only going to get more seamless. And with the introduction of things like Web 3, which right now we're in Web 2, Web 1 was more of just a raw internet. You couldn't really go through it and navigate it that well, but Web 2 is our functional internet that we use today. Web 3, the possibilities are ridiculous almost, because it's almost like a Ready Player One, if anyone's ever seen that. I've never really seen it, I just saw the trailer, but it just reminds me of there almost is no more reality once they can bring that metaverse, VR sense, all that kind of stuff, so seamless with reality. You can't really, if they make it so seamless, you might get it mixed up. So that's the direction society's moving, but in the end of the day, we're each our own people, and we can make our own choices and our own decisions. So the first step is just by becoming aware of what we do in our actions, and everyone has the free will and their own willpower to move forward from there. So in the end of the day, too much social media can result in negative mental health effects, and you just want to do your best to know what you're doing and really just live your own life, and not to be too affected, and not let yourself be too affected by things around you. So thank you everyone for listening throughout this, and I hope you just take some of these instances that I've said and just think about it in your lives, and just try to apply it to everyday things, such as just waking up when you go on social media. Be aware. Thank you everyone for your time, and I hope you guys have a great day.